Last month, after more than a year of waiting, Amazon finally revealed that Crystal City, Virginia, and Long Island City were its new headquarters. Of course, since the announcement, traffic to open houses in Queens, New York, where Long Island City is, has exploded, with average attendance up 250%. That's according to Halstead's weekly open house index. Joining us now to discuss Amazon's impact on real estate is Jonna, real estate broker at Halstead. You're based in Long Island City in Queens, so you have a first-hand account of just how much things have changed. Okay, so HQ2 here in New York City will employ roughly 25,000 people. Can Long Island City, can New York City, can they handle that?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me. For sure. You know, New York City is a city of 8 million, over 8 million people. And so right off the bat, we have lots of employees here all ready to go. You know, so it's not going to be this big influx of 25,000 new employees all coming upon the city. Beyond that, Long Island City is the perfect location for it. We are in a place where there's several subway lines going through Long Island City. We have 2 ferry landings that go between Manhattan, Queens, and Brooklyn. and of course, we're very close to airports. We're very close to major highways. We're kind of really the perfect location. Beyond that, Long Island City, I think, has a history of, you know, an industrial kind of history. So we have a lot of space. We have a lot of room. We have a lot of old buildings that, you know, are, you know, waiting to be developed. So. I think it's a really exciting time to be in Long Island City.
Very exciting. And what are the current prices in Long Island City right now? And have you already seen them increase? And where do you think they're going to go to?
Sure. So, you know, I would say studios, you're looking at about 650,000. This is give or take, just so you know. I mean, every, you know, location makes a difference, and whether there's a doorman building or, you know, amenities, that sort of thing. But on average, I would say for a condo, 1 bedroom is about 850,000. 2 bedrooms probably somewhere between 1.2 million and 1.7 million. And for 3 bedrooms, we're looking at more like 1.7 million up to
the elusive 2.5 million and above.
Exactly.
What about price per square foot?
I would say for resales, you're looking at about 1150. You know, some buildings 1,200 price per square foot, maybe some a little less. And for new developments, you're looking at, you know, 1,300 and higher. But there are certain buildings where you're seeing much higher.
These are like brownstone Brooklyn prices.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so is it too late for people to get in on Long Island City right now? Because even in the last couple of weeks after this was announced, sales have just increased dramatically.
Sure. Well, I will say overnight we are seeing almost like a, you know, 5 to 10% increase just from this news alone. However, we were in sort of a, you know, a little bit of a slump, a little of a slow market. So I don't think it is. First of all, I would say it's never too late to buy in New York City. I think New York City real estate is one of the best investments anyone can make. But beyond that, you're at least, if you're buying now, and I wouldn't wait too long, but if you're buying now, you're at least buying on your way up versus, you know, at the height, because the prices had come down a little bit. So
right, and obviously Amazon isn't the only company moving. So just to open it up to anyone who lives a place where a big new company's coming in, what are your tips to buying a property in that area?
Sure, yeah. So I mean, when a big company comes into a neighborhood, obviously there's so much more, you know, attention on that neighborhood. So, you know, maybe 2 months ago, you might have been the only buyer. Now you might have, you know, 5 buyers all wanting the same apartment. So I think to stand out, there's a couple things you can do. One, I would say work with a local agent. I think that's one of the biggest things you can do. Someone who really knows the area, who really knows the inventory, who really knows the neighborhood.
And they may already have just relationships in general.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then beyond that, I would say get yourself prepared. You know, show that you are a ready and willing and able buyer. Get yourself pre-approved if you're financing. If you're getting gift money from parents, get that money into your account. Get it ready to go. Get your finances in order. So when you put an offer and you're competing against, you know, say 5 other people, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, this buyer is serious. This buyer is financially really healthy, and this buyer wants to get the deal done.
Right.
Yeah. What about tips for sellers here who want to move away from Long Island City at this point?
So, you know, when something like this happens, you know, overnight, where, you know, all of a sudden the sellers are in a great, you know,
position.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would just caution sellers that, you know, if you think that your property is, you know, worth 40% overnight, you know, 40% more overnight.
Right.
You know, I would caution them just, you know, I have seen time and time again, I work with a lot of sellers, pricing is everything. So you really still need to price where the market's at. The market always speaks. Buyers will tell you, you know. So I would just say with sellers, just work with a local agent, work with an agent who knows the market, and get your property priced correctly.
Right, and if you're a seller, you're obviously a kind of a winner in this situation, but what about the losers? Who's losing here?
I would like to think we're all winners.
Yes, I like that too. I like that too.
And I think that, it is, we can see the obvious winners are people who've already bought, people who are buying right now.
Bought like 2 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. I think our neighborhood is a winner because we're going to get a lot of, more infrastructure. We're going to get a lot of, just a lot more for this, developing, vibrant neighborhood that we already have. It's just going to keep getting better and better. I talk to a lot of people in the neighborhood, my sellers, my buyers, my friends, my acquaintances. And I would say, maybe the biggest concern for most people, I think most people in Long Island City are actually really, really excited that Amazon is coming.
Yeah.
I think it's going to do a lot for our neighborhood. I think the biggest concern, though, is making sure the subway system works, because we will have more people here. We need a subway system that is consistent. We need a subway system that doesn't have so many delays. So I think that's really, really important. I think that, there are renters out there who are concerned that their rents are going to go up. I'm actually not as concerned about that because, Long Island City has thousands upon thousands of new rental units going, coming in over the next several years. So I think that we actually need people to absorb that. So I think you're not going to see a huge increase in rent like some renters are concerned about. But I do think we have to, make sure that we have the infrastructure that we need, that the sewage system is, updated, that the waterfront is being taken care of, and that sort of thing. So,
Jonna Stark, real estate broker at Halstead. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, guys.